So, boys and girls, I will give you some very relevant data, as also I will give you some views about my understanding of this unemployment problem in India. Fine. So let's keep seeing the figures. Let's have the next slide, please. देखिए, it's important for you to know, इसकी बात करते रहते हैं, 2/3 of 1.4 billion people are in the age of 15 to 64. Now, this is a demographic dividend, but if you analyze the performance of the states, you will find that the higher populated states have lower per capita income. So it is a concrete evidence that we are not utilizing the demographic dividend. We are just allowing it to go waste. And in this last 10 years, it has gone down quite badly. We could have done well, but we have not. So we have lost out 10 years, definitely. What we may lose in the future is debatable. Yeah, let's have the next slide, please. Grim situation. The government hired 722,311 candidates out of 220 million applications it received in 2014. Jitendra Singh, a junior minister in the personnel ministry, told Parliament, this is in 2022, the number of job applications as well as recruitments have declined since 2014. The data shared with lawmakers showed this. India recruited just 0.3% of the candidates who applied for permanent government jobs in the last 8 years. This is 2022 I was talking about. References I'll be giving in the end. Data from private research firm CMIE shows that joblessness rose to 7.8% in June of 2022 from 7.1% in the previous month, with unemployment in the 20 to 24 age group at 43.7% in the same month. Fine. While you keep looking at these slides and the data I keep presenting to you, anybody having any questions can raise them, because that is the main agenda. Yeah, anyone, any point so far? No points? Let's move ahead. Yeah, next one. We'll start from judiciary. Out of 1,100 judges in various high courts in the country, there are about 400 to 500 post vacants all the time. The lower judiciary presently has around 5,300 seats vacant, over 20% of the capacity. This is the state of judiciary. And you see, there's so much of pendency of judgments. People are not getting justice. So, inefficiency. 18 घंटे काम करने की एफिशिएंसी ये देख लो अब क्या है. Next slide. Universities. As many as 6,549 teaching posts across 45 central universities are currently vacant, according to another set of data shared by the ministry in the Lok Sabha in 2022. The maximum number of vacancies were in DU 900, followed by Allahabad University 622, BHU 532, AMU 498, and JNU 326. Any queries so far? इतना डेटा दे रहा हूं आपको, कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है? नो ऑब्जर्वेशंस? चलो आगे फिर. नेक्स्ट, मेडिकल पर्सनल. At least 40% of the sanctioned posts in central government run hospitals across the country are lying vacant, according to data shared by Union Health Ministry in Rajya Sabha in 2022. Next, railways. According to the minister's reply to a starred question in Rajya Sabha, the Indian Railway has 3.12 lakh non-gazetted posts lying vacant as on 1st December 2022. In the Central Railway, 14,203 vacancies out of the 28,650 posts, which is almost 50%, are in the safety category alone. The jobs in this category include operating and maintenance staff, such as inspectors of various kinds, drivers, train examiners, shunters, among others. Among 1.919 lakh workers, 24% of the positions are vacant for almost a year. These issues have been impacting the functioning of the trains and maintenance of tracks, therefore putting passenger safety at risk. News reports suggested that at least 10 million applicants were hoping to get 40,000 jobs which were on offer. Fine. Next. Defense. Agnipath scheme has been adopted to save money. All other reasons given are trash, which is a common feature of Modi policies. A number of defense personnel have been reduced and will reduce further. Next, banking industry. Bank mergers which took place in Modi regime resulted in massive job losses. I could not get data for this. Does anyone have any data for this, or can anyone locate?
No, sir. But I work in banking industry. This is done, sir. And
डेटा
it is
के
creating so much problem, sir.
नहीं नहीं डेटा दे सकते हो कितना हुआ है करीब?
नहीं सर, मैं डेटा तो नहीं है सर मेरे पास, लेकिन ऐसा कोई डेटा नहीं है सर, स्पेशल डेटा।
एनेक्डोटल इंफॉर्मेशन तो है ही आपके पास, वो तो मेरे पास भी है, वो तो बड़ा ऑब्वियस ही है।
हाँ, और बड़ा क्योस क्रिएट कर दिया है सर इसने पूरा बैंकिंग में, मर्जर से।
केओस तो पूरे हिंदुस्तान में क्रिएट हुआ है।
जी
ठीक है
सर।
ना भाई, आप बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री से अटैच्ड हो तो दैट्स व्हाई यू नो अबाउट बैंकिंग। So
जी
good,
जी जी।
thanks for the confirmation. Okay, next. Demonetization. Great job. 5 million lost their jobs after demonetizations as per this SWI 2019 report. References मैं सारे दे दूंगा आपको. Next. Ill-planned lockdown. 12.2 crore Indians lost their jobs during the lockdown announced, 4-hour lockdown. Fine. Next. PSU jobs. According to a recent analysis of public enterprises survey reports spanning from 2012-13 to 21-22, central public sector enterprises in India have experienced a dual challenge of job reduction and a surge in contractual employment. The survey, which encompasses PSUs, certain statutory corporations and their subsidiaries with over 50% equity held by the central government, reveals a decline in employment figures from 17.3 lakh in March 2013 to 14.6 lakh in March 2022. So much for कितना job generation और सबका विकास होना था. Fine. Next slide. The reduction in total jobs by over 2.7 lakh is accompanied by a notable shift in employment dynamics. In March 2013, contract workers constituted 17% of the total workforce, while casual oblique daily workers accounted for 2.5%. However, by 2022, the share of contract workers increased to 36%, and the share of casual daily workers rose to 6.6%. Consequently, a combined total of 42.5% of PSU employees in March 22 were categorized as contractual or casual workers, in contrast to 19% in March 2013. Any volunteer to tell me the implication of this other than Rahul? Yogita.
Yes, sir. I can tell you that my mother is working in government sector, but that particular organization does not have enough money to pay the employees. That is why contractual laborers are hired for even data entry, for this thing, surveying. All these things are conducted by land revenue section in our in her department. That work is given to graduates on contractual basis since last 3 years. 3,000 rupees per month they are paid. 3,000 to 4,000 rupees per month. They were offering me also job.
देखो इसका और implication, ये तो आपने personal knowledge दे दिया, that is always good, it is welcome. Thing is that it means that the government's obligation towards these people is hardly anything. There is no pension, there is no health care, there are no such benefits, leave, sheave, all that what is given in the Factories Act and all, and nothing is applicable to these people. Are you?
And sir,
Yes, sir.
this will
People are devoid of all those social securities. That's why
Ah,
contractual workers has been increased.
that is why it has been increased. जिम्मेवारी नहीं लेनी मोदी साहब ने किसी की, अपने पैरों पर खड़े हो जाओ सब.
sir, this is also impacting the work culture of PSUs.
It will impact the work culture, but at the moment when we are talking of unemployment, we are concerned about the lives of these people who are working. उनकी जिंदगी, उनकी फैमिली की जिंदगी तो सोचो.
Yes, sir, they are not even getting ESI benefit or EPFO benefits as well.
कुछ नहीं है, तनख्वाह भी कम है,
Yes, sir.
भरोसा नहीं है कुछ. और इसमें अब ये तो डिटेल में हम नहीं जा रहे, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर ही कितना इसमें से परसेंट लेता होगा, कुछ भरोसा है? कितने का साइन किया, कितना पैसा दिया?
And sir, reason they give that,
इसमें
sir, reason I have found many places that government is paying their focus towards the governance and not towards the industries and all these things. They are shifting their focus from industries to governance.
उसकी बात बाद में करेंगे, पहले तो ये implication समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
It's bad for the persons who are hired. तब लेबर लॉ कुछ लागू नहीं होता इन पे. I mean, hardly anything. Next.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding this.
Doubt तो पूछिए, very important.
Sir, considering the fact that this contractual employment, सर तो मनरेगा भी तो इसी का मतलब PSU को अगर साइड लाइन में देखे तो मनरेगा भी तो इसी का पार्ट है, तो उससे तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन हो रहा है मतलब रूरल एरियाज में या ग्राउंड लेवल पे.
मनरेगा को आप PSU से कैसे कंपेयर कर रहे हैं?
सर कंपेयर
मनरेगा is this thing, social security given in the rural areas जहां पर के जॉब्स की काफी ज्यादा कमी है, कि लोगों को अपने घर के नजदीक ही बिना रीलोकेट किए हुए काम करने की कुछ मिल जाए, जिसमें कुछ मिनिमल वेजेस मिल अर्न कर पाए वो लोग.
yes, sir.
ये है, उसका आप PSU वाले से कैसे कंपैरिजन में ला रहे हो?
सर PSU वाले से नहीं ला रहा सर, इसलिए मैंने सेपरेट डाउट हुआ था कि PSU से नहीं.
मनरेगा की बात करेंगे, आप नोट करके रखो, विल टॉक अबाउट मनरेगा. हाँ,
ओके सर,
यू कीप अ नोट, विल टॉक ऑफ इट. चलो आगे, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. An examination of individual companies demonstrates that 7 PSUs experienced reductions in employment exceeding 20,000 over the past decade. Leading the list is BSNL, which witnessed a reduction of approximately 1 lakh jobs, following closely behind a Steel Authority of India, and MTNL both reporting over 30,000 job losses during this period. ठीक है ना? तो ये समझने की बात है, ये नोट करना। जस्ट रिमाइंड मी योगिता, मैं समझाऊंगा कि ये रिलायंस जियो कैसे बढ़ा और कैसे ये बीएसएनएल घटा। फाइन, मेक अ नोट, जस्ट रेज दिस पॉइंट।
Okay, sir.
नेक्स्ट, reverse migration. Approximately 3.2 crore people returned to the villages. I mean, approximately कितना 12 करोड़ करीब गए थे जब लॉकडाउन हुआ था, वो बात की थी, but 3.2 crore never returned. So in India, there has been reverse migration into the agriculture sector. What does this mean? Can anybody explain?
Sir, again, unemployment rises. This
Yeah, this is called, what do we call this thing as? Disguised unemployment.
actually, sir, it is hidden employment, basically.
या डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है। देखने को वो ठीक है, खेत में 4 भाई काम कर रहे हैं, प्रोडक्शन उतना का उतना ही है। जो चौथा भाई जो फैक्ट्री में काम कर रहा था, उसकी फैक्ट्री बंद हो गई। एमएसएमईज बंद हुई थी ना, कितने 60% एमएसएमईज क्लोज डाउन विद जीएसटी एंड दिस ब्लडी लॉकडाउन। तो वापिस ही नहीं गए वो। दैट इज व्हाट इट इज। तो पॉवर्टी और बढ़ा। फाइन, नेक्स्ट। Yeah, general thing. You see, what has happened is that the number of formal jobs has increased minuscule. The number of informal jobs has reduced greatly. ये एमएसएमई शेमई वाले छोटे मोटे वाले जो थे ना, उनके बेसिस पे ज्यादा चल रहा था काम। And for the big companies, profitability is linked to job reduction. Can anybody explain why profitability is linked to job reduction?
Basically, sir, cost cutting की गई, और इससे सब like just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
एक मिनट सर, फिर से क्वेश्चन सर।
I can hear you.
Can I ask the question, sir, again?
क्वेश्चन तो बाद में पूछना, पहले ये इसको समझाओ ना, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी लिंक टू जॉब रिडक्शन, ये समझाइए, बिकॉज दैट इज फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ ऑल।
प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी जॉब रिडक्शन से इंक्रीज इस वजह से हुई क्योंकि हमें पेमेंट नहीं करना पड़ रहा है लोगों को, ज्यादा कम लोगों से ज्यादा काम ले रहा है।
करेक्ट, so that is what is being
So,
done.
I have explanation for this.
Please give.
Yeah, profitability could be positively impacted as well as negatively also. Job reduction also means that some of the plants has got shut down and many jobs has been reduced, as well as profit has also been reduced. At the same time, if they are doing the cost cutting, they are just simply firing employees, then profit just for the sake of increasing their profit. So that could be positively impact also.
तो हम खाली बेटा इस टाइम में प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी लिंक टू जॉब रिडक्शन कर रहे हैं। Now I will explain to you what has been going on in India. ये जो प्राइवेटाइजेशन इंक्रीज हुआ है, the increasing amount of things coming under the control of Adani and Ambani have not created new jobs. New technology has not come in. कुछ expansion नहीं हुआ. They have eaten into things like Jio has eaten into BSNL. And जितने नौकरियों जितनी तनख्वाह BSNL देता था, उससे कम देता है अंबानी. That is why his profitability is higher. Are you getting this perspective?
Yes, sir.
ये हुआ है, इसलिए ओवरऑल जॉब रिडक्शन हुआ है. एंड ओवरऑल जिस दिशा में मोदी साहब चल रहे हैं इट विल कंटिन्यू, और आप लोगों को इजराइल में ही काम करने जाना पड़ेगा जैसे भी जा रहे हैं।
एक्चुअली सर इन्होंने BSNL को 4G स्पेक्ट्रम ही नहीं दिया, और इसके जो
those are the matters of detail।
हाँ
यार
सर,
देखो, उसके ऊपर जो है ना, अगर आपने टेलीकॉम सेक्टर में क्या कुछ हुआ है ना,
जी,
उसके बारे में अगर बहुत अच्छी जानकारी देनी है, देर इज वन मैन यू शुड रीड एंड हिज नेम इज रजत कथुरिया।
ओके सर, ओके,
एंड रजत कथुरिया एंड आई आर फ्रॉम द सेम स्कूल, एंड
ओके,
रजत कथुरिया was an excellent table tennis player, so as a sports person we are friends।
ओके, ओके सर,
अभी वो इसका शिव नादर का कुछ हेड वेड है, तुमको
ओके,
कोई भी टेलीकॉम सेक्टर इसके ऊपर कुछ अच्छी चीज मिलेगी लिखी हुई, इट वुड बी रिटन बाय रजत कथुरिया ओनली।
ओके,
तो मेरे को तो पर्सनल नॉलेज है इन चीजों की अच्छे से,
हम्म,
बट आई एम सेइंग दीज आर मैटर ऑफ डिटेल। ब्रॉडली स्पीकिंग दिस इज व्हाट इट इज,
यस सर, यस सर,
आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? के
यस,
मतलब जो था, साइज ऑफ पाई हैज नॉट इंक्रीज्ड, the share of the pie has gone to Adani and Ambani, and that is why there has been a reduction in jobs to improve their profitability। That is what has happened। तभी तो शेयर वैल्यू उनकी बढ़ रही है ना लोगों की।
Yes, sir.
Are you getting this perspective? It is important to understand these are things of economics। जिसके समझ में नहीं आया प्लीज आस्क।
Sir, we can take the recent example, like the Paytm is going out of business, and RBI is saying that some other bank or some other financial service has to take over the Paytm if they want to survive. Then if like companies like Geo Financial Services will take over Paytm, then all the Paytm employees will lose their job because Geo Financial Services having their own employees and having everything of their own. So this will also increase unemployment.
It is a sort of journey। There
Sir,
may be, there may not be। अगर पेटीएम की कहानी में जाओगे, पेटीएम तो मोदी का ही आदमी था, मोदी ने उसे प्रमोट करवाया।
yes, sir, and he also promoted Modi a lot. Like his every tweet was
ऑब्वियसली
lit.
मोदी की तो फोटो लगा रहा था, एंड पेटीएम वाज चैप वाज अ बिग बड़ी रास्कल।
Yes, sir, and
बहुत
now,
बड़ी था रास्कल।
sir, in 2000, still from 2017, the Paytm is just fooling the Indian financial customers. And
या वो तो ही डजंट गो बाय द कंप्लायंसेस ना, जस्ट लाइक अदानी अंबानी।
yes, sir,
अदानी
and
के लिए
sir,
थोड़ी रूल रेगुलेशन है।
and the poster boy of FinTech India is now going down.
या so that is what। yes, anyone else?
Sir,
हाँ जी।
sir, even the automation also has some part to play in the job reduction also.
And definitely that is a fact of technology, and that is a thing which will always keep happening in all societies across the board। It's a universal phenomenon।
Right, sir.
We cannot do anything about it। Like farming में ही mechanization आया ना, हर जगह ही आएगा।
Yes, sir.
Robots will replace men even in the medical field में। आप देखो ना, सर्जरी कितना रोबोट्स करता ना अब।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is something which will happen।
So, since it is reflecting that we are moving towards a more capitalist economy, which is highly focused on the profit, which helps in doing more innovation and improving technology. So, okay, could you consider that these things are helpful also because it will lead to in more innovation?
You see, that point is valid। What I am saying is technology, advancements in technology cannot be stopped। Like there was resistance to computers in banks initially. They said हाथ से काम करते थे और आदमी कम हो जाएंगे. वो तो होंगे. That is inevitable. That we have to live with. क्योंकि अगर एक बैंक वो 10 आदमी एम्प्लॉय कर रहा है और उतना ही एफिशिएंट दूसरा बैंक अगर 2 आदमियों से हो सकता है, तो वो जो है 2 एम्प्लॉय वाला बैंक विल बीट दिस बैंक ना.
Yes, sir. Even if it is a private bank, it will beat the public bank of 10 employees.
You see, it's not, do not bring in public and private. It's not that the public sector has to be inefficient. It is not so. The tendency is there more on the part of the public sector setups to be less efficient. But it's not always so.
Yes, sir.
सारे ही पब्लिक सेक्टर एयर इंडिया की तरह नहीं है. ONGC is not like Air India. Or Steel Authority of India is not like Air India.
Sir, NTPC is also not like Air India.
There's so many.
Yes.
Fine. Railways is somewhat like that, but only when Lalu Prasad Yadav was the railway minister, it was profitable. Neither before nor after. And then Mamata Banerjee brought out a white paper to show as to why, Lalu's regime, it was not, efficient. Like now, Modi साहब has brought out a paper कि मनमोहन सिंह के टाइम में इकोनॉमिक एफिशिएंसी नहीं था. Which is bullshit. Efficiency was nothing great, but definitely compared to Modi, it was far better. Any other queries?
Sir, we can add one point also, sir.
Yeah.
The government is providing freebies scheme for providing immediate short-term benefits for the people, like giving free rations, giving
Buddy, we can have so
giving
many
him
points.
exemption from
That point
pay the.
That point is not related to the unemployment problem. Try and understand that. It's a point, definitely. It's a big point. But it is not very relevant to unemployment problem here, what we are discussing.
But sir, apart from providing a skill, government is giving 2,000, 3,000 rupees per month for the unemployed people. So we are getting addicted to getting free schemes. That's why we are not going for any job. So many people are getting addicted. That's why, sir, that is a little bit relevant.
Okay. So that logic is true.
Sir.
You should not provide a man fish, but you should teach a man how to fish. That
Sir,
point
sir.
Yes, sir.
That this point that people are getting addicted to this free rations and all that, it is a debatable issue, and I do not subscribe to this idea much as far as India is concerned. The reason is that survival is difficult at the moment. The amount of poverty which is existing, particularly in the rural, part of the country, that this is essential to keep the people alive. अगर आपके पास भी सारे इनपुट्स होते इंफॉर्मेशन के, मेरे हिसाब से आप भी इसको रोक नहीं सकते थे, क्योंकि जिंदा रखना तो जरूरी है ना.
Sir.
Are you getting this point?
Sir.
That's my view. I may be wrong. I'm not sure. But that's my perception.
Sir, that we are a socialist republic, so we need to focus on the people as well.
सोशलिस्ट वो नाम हम करेंगे यार, हम तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ही कौन सा फॉलो कर रहे हैं यार, रूल ऑफ लॉ ही नहीं है हिंदुस्तान में.
हाँ सर, अब नहीं है, अब तो क्या ही है सर.
हाँ वही, दैट्स व्हाट इट इज.
बट सर, रिसेंटली कर्नाटक गवर्नमेंट ने शुरू किया है कि महिलाओं के लिए फ्री ट्रैवल शुरू कर दिया. कहीं भी सरकारी बस में जाओ फ्री है. उससे क्या हो रहा है कि वो
दिल्ली ने
कहीं
पहले
भी
ही किया था।
वो सिटी की वीमेन हो या गांव की हो, बेनिफिट सबको मिल रहा है। जो कैपेबल है वो भी उसका बेनिफिट गवर्नमेंट स्कीम का ले रहा है, जो कैपेबल नहीं है उनको तो मिलना आपके अकॉर्डिंगली आपने बताया वो सही है, बट जो उस लाइक है कि
ये
दे कैन पे।
जो विमेन वाला है ना,
सर
it has a positive impact on the economy in my view. Why do I say this?
So they tend to attend or go to tourist places more, and the localites
अरे
get
यार, ये
more
फ्री
to
वाले
know.
टूरिस्ट प्लेसेस में नहीं जाते भाई, टूरिस्ट में
So
नहीं जाते।
they tend to
अरे ये
travel more,
लोग,
and
इनका मिनिमल इनको अर्निंग होती है, और उससे वो लेडी अपनी कुछ सेविंग वगैरह कर सकती है, कुछ सेंस ऑफ फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस ले सकती है, छोटा मोटा काम। तो अगर उसको फ्री ट्रैवल मिल जाए तो शी इज नॉट डिपेंडेंट ऑन हर हस्बैंड और फादर और ब्रदर, no husband to do such kind of things, and it creates greater economic activity. It's a good thing. That's my view.
Sir, I got it, but personally, I have experienced during this suffer in the Maharashtra bus transportation. I talk.
I think so. It will attract more tourism also.
यार, ये जो फ्री ट्रैवल करने वाली लेडीज हैं, ये टूरिस्ट हैं?
No, sir, not at all.
That's what I'm saying.
And only domestic people are allowed, sir, from state.
And sir,
ये बेचारे तो
traveling
जिंदा रहने के लिए लड़ रहे हैं यार, टूरिज्म तो बहुत बुरी चीज है।
traveling is one part of the tourist. Other staying also, and there are a lot of other expenses as well.
बेटा, जब भी हम कहीं काम करते हैं तो रीलोकेशन और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन बहुत बड़ी कॉस्ट हो जाती है। हर इंडिविजुअल की करीब 70% जो है इसमें ही चला जाता है।
Yes, sir. In job it is this, but in traveling it's not a big cost because we travel for tourism we just go for once or twice, and for travel we have to go daily, 6 days
अरे
or 7 days.
भाई, टूरिज्म की बात बार बार आप ला जा रहे हो। मैं कह रहा हूँ, टूरिज्म, जो जो आदमी जिंदा रहना जिसका मुश्किल है, वो टूरिस्ट कहाँ से बनेगा?
Yes, sir, of course.
दैट इज द थिंग। वो घूमने फिरने नहीं जा रहा यार, वो जिंदा रह रहा है। उसे जब खाली टाइम मिलता है तो बैठ जाता है घर पे, दैट्स ऑल।
Yes, sir.
ये ब्रेक मिल गई मुझे, समझे?
Yes.
या एनीवन एल्स? Okay, so the last slide is about the references. You can show them so that it is there on record. You can make a note of these, and this can be, I mean, this available to all of you, this information. So these were some of the points which I wanted to bring to your notice. Now we will have Rahul, who will give some good views on this subject. हाँ भाई Rahul, please go ahead.
Okay, so like sir also talked about CMI data, and we have usually two sources for collection of data of unemployment and related to other things. Usually economists rely on the CMI data for better assessment of the labor market because the figures are based on monthly surveys of more than 1,70,000 households and around 6 lakh plus people. Whereas the periodic labor force survey that is done by National Sample Survey Organization, it is done quarterly and it covers 1 lakh household and just 4 lakh people. So the data of CMI is more valid. It is done monthly and more people are surveyed on this data. So like
The word to be used would be the sample size is much bigger, and
Yes,
the
sir.
data is also more authentic, because we have noticed over the last 10 years, government's tendency to fudge the data is also there, even if they've got, correct data.
Yes, sir. The sample size of CMI is more than the periodic labor force surveys.
That's the correct.
Like in December 2023, as we all know that India's unemployment rate climbed to the highest in more than 2 years in October 2023, as joblessness in rural areas also increased, according to CMI, Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. The overall rate rose to 10.05% in December 2023 from 7.09 in September. And this was same data by CMI only, and the highest since May 2021. Rural unemployment jumped to 10.82% from 6.2%, while the urban rate eased slightly. Like sir talked about that reverse migration is due to this only unemployment, rural unemployment is increasing because people are migrating from urban areas to rural areas, and it is causing distress on the farm sector as well. At the end, disguised unemployment is increasing. So these are some of the headlines. Like India's economy was projected to rise by an impressive 6% to 6.5% this year. That is, we are talking about 2023. And the population is also growing, and India overtook China as the world's most populous country in April. But despite this growth, India's workforce has remained stagnant for the last 5 years. These are the views of CMI Chief Executive Mahesh Vyas, and he told him his interview was conducted by the Wire. And around close to 10 million Indians entered the job market in October hoping to find the work. Bloomberg same cited the CMI data, and a survey also conducted by the Center for the Study of Developing Societies found earlier this year that 36% of Indians aged between 15 to 34 thought that unemployment was the biggest problem facing the country. These are the graphs which shows that urban unemployment rate and rural unemployment rate. These are the annual graph of 2020 22-23 year that ended in March 23. So unemployment level rose sharply in urban areas than in rural areas in March 23. The unemployment level in urban areas was recorded at 8.5% in March in comparison to rural unemployment, and rural unemployment was 7.5% in comparison to 7.2%. And it was like comparing the March data with the February data of 2023. These are the annual data, and the annual data of this year will come in April 2024. And the annual rural unemployment rate in 2021-22 rose to 6-year high. Like the same reverse migration was the cause, because 6-year high rural unemployment rate, and it is excluding the COVID impacted period as well, because after the COVID impact, a lot of people, 3.2 to around 4 crore people didn't went to the urban areas for the job. They remained in their rural areas and just focusing on the agriculture sector. So all India was around, as per CMI last year, all India data was 7.6%. This is the annual data, combined rural plus urban. And if we look at the government data, government said that the unemployment rate was just 3.2%. This was the report released in October 2023 by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So here's a huge gap between both of these. We can see that 7.6% and 3.2% in total by the government. So this is just a headline. The government publishes a countrywide unemployment rate only on an annual basis, and the rate for urban areas every quarter. So the data by this Ministry of Statistics is published every quarter. We talked about that CMI publishes its data every month. And if we go to CMI website as well, they have the graph going on continuously related to unemployment and other areas. The most recent official report released in October puts the unemployment rate for the country at just 3.2% for 2022-23. So the government data is very, very low as compared to the CMI and other think tanks data. We can say that the government is not.
Thing is that, Rahul, government data has to show they have a very specific instructions कि प्रोग्रेस तो दिखानी है ना, क्योंकि मोदी सरकार में विकास तो दिखाना ही है, हो चाहे ना हो।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हो रहा है तो ठीक है, नहीं हो रहा है तो डेटा फर्ज करके दिखाना है, तो that is what it is.
Yes, sir. And we need to understand that, yes, everyone is seeing around us that unemployment is increasing. But as per government, unemployment is fine. 3.2% is very small number.
तो ऐसा है ना, there are crores of Modi bucks also.
Sir, yes, completely Hindi heartland is completely Modi bhakt.
कंप्लीट तो नहीं है, बट बेवकूफों की कमी नहीं है मेरे क्लास टाइप, मेरे कोर्स में, तो 90% लाइक दैट.
Yes, sir. And if we globally compare India, we are at fourth position after South Africa, Turkey, Brazil in unemployment rate. So we are very, matlab, it's like fourth position in unemployment. It's not good number if we compare with other countries. Like we are the fastest growing economy, government is saying, and we are improving on a daily basis. We have a target of becoming the developing economy by 2047, but these big problems are still there. Now let's look at some causes of unemployment. So, unemployment is in India is due to low emphasis on educational and vocational skills of the working class, which makes them unemployable or underemployed in the changing economy. Let's look at some data. According to 2011 census, only 74% of the population above 7 years of age was literate, and only 10% had completed secondary education or above. Moreover, only 2.3% of the workforce has formal vocational training compared to 68% in United Kingdom and 75% in Germany. The quality and the relevance of education and training are also questionable as they do not match the demands of the employer or the emerging sectors. This is the major cause of unemployment, first cause. The second cause of unemployment in India is the less government support with legal complexities and low infrastructure, which hampers the growth and development of industries and businesses. Reduction in private investment by big corporate houses as well. The private investment is reducing day by day, and these big corporates are not expanding much as the government expected them by reducing the corporate tax. So this is not happening, and this is also leading to unemployment. The Indian labor laws are inflexible and restrictive, which discourage formal employment and encourage informality and casualization. The ease of doing business ranking of India was 63rd out of 190 countries in 2020, which indicates the difficulties faced by entrepreneurs and investors in starting and running a business in India. So our target was, like, government is saying that we will become the best or top 10 ease of doing business in ranking. So we need to work on this as well, because by looking at this data only FDI and other foreign portfolio investors will come. Unemployment in leading to poverty as people losing their income and purchasing power. It leads to social problems such as crime, violence, drug abuse, mental health issues, and suicide. So it's a cyclic effect. Unemployment is leading poverty, and then these all things are happening. Unemployment also affects the human capital formation and economic growth potential of the country, as it wastes the talent and skills of a large section of the population. These we looked at 2 3 major causes of unemployment. Now let's talk about some solutions. These are also some long-term measures which include creating more jobs through boosting economic growth, diversifying economic activities, promoting entrepreneurship and innovation, improving infrastructure and ease of doing business, reforming labor laws and regulations, enhancing education and skill development systems. These all will ensure social protection and inclusion of all workers, especially women and youth. So these are some simple long-term measures which we government on or the other sectors need to work on. The youth can also play an active role in overcoming this problem by acquiring relevant skills, exploring new opportunities, taking risks, innovating solutions, and creating value for themselves and others. The youth can also participate in social movement and campaigns that demand better policies and programs for employment generation and social justice. The youth can also collaborate with each other and with other stakeholders to create networks and platforms that support their interests and needs. So youth can play a major role. Sir also talked about the demographic dividend. So we have a lot of demography in age group of 15 to like 40 years of age. We have a lot of population, and this is the workable population, and this has to play a major role. These are I have sorted down some 4 5 sectors. These are called India's opportunity sector for employment growth. First is health services. The hospital industry is currently it was valued at $61.79 billion and is expected to reach $132 billion by 2023. So aging population and heightened healthcare awareness has increased the need for medical services, preventive care, and regular checkup. So health services is the sector where opportunities are there for employment. Second is hospitality services. The rebound of the tourism sector after the pandemic is poised to contribute to economic development and job creation. The industry is expected to grow to $29.61 billion by 2028. Third is renewable energy sector. Renewable energy expansion can create millions of jobs focused on skilled workers for installation, maintenance, and research in green energy technologies. It can also potentially employ 1 million people by 2030 if everything goes well as per the plan. And the most important is our MSME sector, that is micro, small, and medium enterprises sector. These are the integral part of India's economy and contributes more than 30% to the GDP with a substantial share in exports. They are a crucial source of employment, supporting millions of house livelihoods, second only to agriculture. So MSME are second after agriculture, which provide employment to a lot of people. Startup ecosystem. India's concerted efforts to improve its business environment have elevated its status as an appealing destination for startups, further fueling the development of Indian towns and cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Gurgaon. Entrepreneurship hubs are also coming, aiding job creation and enhancing India's global competitiveness in the startup arena. So, startup ecosystem is the area where government should also look, because the startup bubble is bursting day by day. We are seeing the fall of Byju's, Paytm, and most of the unicorns are facing losses, burning just cash, and layoff is increasing in the startup ecosystem because government focus just on providing the FDIs to all these and the investment to startups, but the government played and the startup owners also played that too big too soon, and this bubble is bursting. We increased our valuation to a lot of in billions dollars. If we look at Byju's was valued at $22 billion last year, and it's now just come down to $3 billion. So we can say that our startup ecosystem is not growing as much because profitability should be there. You cannot have just investment and burning that cash and then closing that business. You need to show some profitability that will increase the employment to the youth and other population. E-commerce sector is there. E-commerce is the very important sector. The expansion of online shopping has driven demand for efficient logistics and delivery services, creating jobs for thousands of delivery partners and gig workers. E-commerce companies are significant employers requiring a diverse range of professionals, including IT experts, digital payment specialists, and merchandisers. The e-commerce market in India is expected to surge to $200 billion by 2026, a substantial rise from its 2020 figure of just $46.2 billion. So these are some of the references: CMIE, Observer Research Foundation, Economic Times, The Wire, and the Mirrority.com. So these are some of the sources.